Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football for the latest transfer news as Manchester City look to buy their third player. Chelsea face a big transfer blow and Paul Pogba signs for Juventus. That will be announced in early July. Loads to get into on the show this morning as Man City, even what Liverpool fans think, Man City just Their budget must be about 200 million, and I'll explain that in a minute. Anyway, before we get into that, our good friends at OneFootball are sponsoring the show. I'm sure you've heard me speak about OneFootball loads of times, which begs the question, why haven't you downloaded it to get all your big UK and worldwide transfer news? As you can see on the screen for you now, the OneFootball app is my number one destination for football news, transfer updates, player data, and of course the latest match day scores. I don't know what magic they have going on at OneFootball actually, but I always get my score notifications fastest there. So if you want to be the most informed football fan in the world, then head to the description or scan the QR code on screen and download OneFootball today, totally for free, to get all your news, all your clubs, all the international news, all your transfer news. Thank you very much to OneFootball for supporting the show as ever. And as I said, you can download it for free, or you can just hold up your phone with your camera on and scan that QR code next to me. So let's talk about some of the latest football transfer news. And we're going to start off with Man City. We were speaking yesterday about Calvin Phillips, Cucurella from Brighton. Look, I don't like Man City. I'm a Manchester United fan. I don't like Man City because they're just rich and successful. And they do great. It's like the person from school who was crap at maths, and then you check on Facebook and they've got a dream house, dream car, dream job. I'm not going to objectify their wife or husband, but they've got all the other trappings, and you sort of like go, yeah, it must be great to be them, but I don't like them. And that's how I feel about Man City. And I'm sure Man City fans feel like that about Manchester United when we were successful. It's life. Let's deal with it and be mature. But what I would say is about Cucurella, Bissouma's gone to Spurs. I think he's a fantastic signing. I'm now tempted to say that Cucurella to Man City is up there with Bissouma as signing of the summer. I know people are buying Haaland and Nunez, and there will be some other big deals. Maybe United will finally do a De Jong deal. But in relation to Cucurella, I feel like a bit of a broken record, but every time I've watched him, is brilliant. And I can only say on a negative, I haven't watched Brighton play probably more than 7 or 8 times last season, but every time I've watched him play, he's fantastic. I'd love him at Manchester United. I think he's more than capable of being a first team player for a Liverpool or a Manchester City. I'm very impressed with him. I've got to applaud Brighton again for the recruitment and Graham Potter for the development, but he is a player that I'm not surprised that Pep Guardiola wants. I think he's 23 at the moment. I think he's 24 next month. But very, very impressive left back. And obviously in a Manchester City side, that energy to go back and forth, and offensively very good, but defensively, tenacious, terrier-like fullback, which is what you want. It'd be interesting to see if he goes straight into the starting lineup, whether they'd move Cancelo back to right back and put him at left back. But I think he's a really, really good signing, and I'm not surprised that Pep's after him. The thing I would say about that is I'd expect them to get that deal done now. He's only been at Brighton for a year, so they'll probably pay more for him than Spurs paid for Bissouma because there was only 1 year left on his deal. I'd be interested. It'd be somewhere between 25 million and 50 million. Obviously, he got 50 million for Ben White last year. But he's a top left back, and that's why Man City want to buy him. Calvin Phillips, we were talking about yesterday, Erling Haaland they've already bought. The release clause for Haaland was around 70 million, but obviously there's a load of other money being spent behind the scenes there on agent fees and everything. But even if you just take the 70 million they've spent on Haaland, and trust me, there's a lot more than that been spent. 70 million, I'd say Cucurella's going to cost them somewhere around sort of 30, 40 million. That takes it beyond 100. Calvin Phillips, 150 million. So look, Man City's budget on paper is 150 million. And probably another 50, 60 million spent on that Haaland deal on fees and stuff like that. So Man City's budget is 150 to 200 million quid. How can you compete with that? How can you compete with that if you're Liverpool? How can you compete with that if you're Arsenal, Manchester United? Manchester United finished, 30-something points behind Man City last season. They've already bought 3 players in. Their budget is 150 to 200 million. They're just moving further and further away. And that's United's fault. And look, I'm sure Arsenal fans feel the same. That's our fault. We're big clubs. And where's the money? And where's the ownership? And where's the structure? But Man City ain't messing about, are they? And I said this at the end of last season. I know Man City won the Premier League, but Pep was fuming about that Champions League. And the thing is, the day they win the Premier League, stories come out that he was planning for next season with the signings. And we're in the middle of June, and he's basically got 3 signings done. Phillips will go. Cucurella will go. And they've already got Haaland. I mean, what if they're going to do more business? Like, I don't think Man City need to buy 4 or 5 players, but they've already got 3 in the bank. Budget of around 200 million quid. I mean, it's just devastating, relentless. And I said this last year when they spent 100 million pounds on Grealish. They've never done that before. And I said there's a change in Man City. They've always been quite under the radar with their spending. Like, they don't normally spend more than 60 million pounds on a player. That Grealish deal was like, bang, there's 100 million, and suddenly their spending has always been big, but it's more obvious now, and that's a big issue for everybody else. Because Premier League fixtures came out this morning. I looked at them and I thought, I can't see Man City losing a game. I look at United fixtures and I'm like, I can't see us winning a game. I look at Man City and I'm like, who's going to beat them? You know, even when they're going away to Spurs and Anfield, you're like, well, I still think Man City will probably get a result. So yeah, devastatingly effective in the transfer market again. And in relation to Cucurella and Haaland, very good signings. Phillips is an interesting one, but yeah, very, very good signing. Let's move on to Chelsea. So Chelsea with a bit of a transfer blow, a double blow actually. Koundé is a player that they were looking at, and I think they felt they were going to get. I thought they were going to get him last year actually. I'd heard that Chelsea were signing him last summer. It didn't happen. It's not going to happen this year. Barcelona in advanced talks. Now Barcelona are a very interesting team. We've been talking about it over on the United stand. It's a big day today. I think it's 5:30 UK time, 6:30 Spanish time. There's a big meeting at Barcelona where they're going to talk about voting about economic levers to bring money into the club to solve their financial issues. If they bring those levers in, it means they've got money to spend and they can sanction Lewandowski and Koundé and all these deals they want to do. And that, unfortunately, is bad news for Chelsea. Yeah, I mean, look, there's not many clubs that can beat the top Premier League clubs bringing players in. We've got the richest league in the world. We've got the best league in the world. And I think Koundé Chelsea was a very intelligent deal all round. But unfortunately, there are still probably 2 or 3, maybe 4 clubs that can really take a player away from a Premier League club, even if it's Liverpool or Chelsea or Man City. And I think they are Barcelona, Real Madrid, PSG and Bayern Munich sometimes. And unfortunately for Chelsea, Barcelona seem to have got their act together around Koundé. And yeah, Barcelona is looking like where he's going to go. The second blow is Lukaku, and now I don't think Chelsea fans will be massively disappointed getting the comments about this, but apparently he's going on Inter. He's going on loan to Inter for. There will be some sort of fee attached, but it's amazing, isn't it? I mean, they spent £100 million on him, and he's going on loan back there. Is a massive write-off for Chelsea. That it's a lot of money write-off. They've got to do it. They've got to do it. I completely agree. I can't believe a year later we're in this situation. I tipped Lukaku to win the Golden Boot last year. I thought he was exactly what Chelsea needed. Penalty box striker. He's not very good outside the penalty box, but in the box, he's a penalty box striker, and that's what Chelsea needed, and it completely failed. So Chelsea are right to move him on for more than one reason, not just for on the pitch, but off the pitch. I think it's been a bit of an issue. So they're right to move him on, but the financial mistake they've made there is big. And you look at Chelsea, I mean, Spurs are doing business, Man City are doing business, Liverpool have done a bit of business. You look at Chelsea and they're the club that only a couple of years ago we saw that amazing summer, didn't we, that Lampard had, where they just seemed to buy everybody. It's a new ownership. There's a lot of eyes on Chelsea. There's a lot of Chelsea fans' eyes on Chelsea. They are going to do stuff, but what are they going to do? There's players moving around that you go, look, Lewandowski and Koundé both going to Barcelona. They would have been good deals for Chelsea. So what deals are Chelsea going to do? There are lots of deals Chelsea can do, but there's not an endless wealth of endless pool of players out there. So I'm intrigued. I think Chelsea's summer's one of the more intriguing ones as to what they're going to do. They will spend money, but what they're going to spend it on is going to be interesting. I think we know Barcelona again. Ousmane Dembele is probably going to go to Chelsea. I think that's a very interesting signing, but where they go from there, keep an eye on that. And then Paul Pogba's been talking a little bit today. He's going to go to Juventus. That's not official yet, but Juventus return for Paul Pogba will be sanctioned officially at the start of July, unless there's some amazing late offer from a PSG or a Real Madrid, but apparently that's not expected. Conversations did take place with those clubs and Man City, but Juventus is the club that Pogba looks like he's going to. We've obviously seen some of his comments publicly, almost dismissive of Manchester United, offended by Manchester United's offer of £300,000 a week, although we believe it was £400,000 a week. Pogba and Manchester United always needed to part ways. I'm surprised he's going to Juventus, but I suppose that evidences that actually, as good as Pogba thinks he is, the offers aren't there. Even as a free agent at 29, the offers are not there. He should be walking out of United with every club wanting him because they haven't got to pay a transfer fee, offering him $500,000 a week because they haven't got to pay a transfer fee. And ultimately, nobody is. So Pogba can say, well, I'm offended by what United offered, but maybe the proof's in the pudding, Paul. That the fact is, you're a free agent, no one's got to pay a transfer fee, and no one's queuing up to give you these big wages. So, you know, Pogba back at Juventus. I'm very surprised. I don't know what people think on that. I'm very surprised. I think Pogba, I really thought he'd go to PSG or Real Madrid, but if those offers aren't there, they're not there. It's a weird career. When you start off at United, you go to Juventus, you come back to United to go back to Juventus. It sort of hints that the big deal that you wanted has never really been on the plate from the Real Madrid or the Barcelona or whatever. So, yeah. Pogba back to the Italian league in early July. There we go. Anyway, get your comments in below. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. And do check out OneFootball. You can scan the QR code with your camera or you can use the link in the description. Lots to get involved with there. Thanks everyone for watching. And yeah, get your comments in below. Lots to discuss. Man City, wow. They're just doing that business again, aren't they? And I'm interested to see what Liverpool are going to do. Do you think it's over with Liverpool, with Darwin Núñez, or do you think they'll do more business? I know they want a midfielder. I'm sure they'll get one. Thanks for watching. Speak to you in a bit.